So there's a lot that's come out of the WikiLeaks release of John Podesta's emails, and if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, if you're a Bernie or bust voter, if you're a Jill Stein supporter, you should feel validated because any and everything you said about Hillary Clinton was proven in the release of these emails. Now, one of the biggest claims many people make, not just us, about Hillary Clinton is that she's a phony. I mean, she is a poll-driven, focus group-minded politician because all she does is she takes positions for purposes of political expediency, and that's it. So you're never going to hear what Hillary Clinton really thinks about a particular issue. It's going to be tested by focus groups, and if it goes well, then she'll support it. But other than that, we're never going to hear her say something that's organic or have a natural thought that materialized in her own head. It's always going to be something that was scripted or written by her campaign. And this is proven multiple times in these emails. So for example, emails reveal how they came up with a fake story at the launch of her campaign. One email reads, "I'm working on a Hillary Clinton profile that's going to run after she formally announces her candidacy. I'm trying to delve into how she went about making this decision. The sense that I get in talking to people is that it was a long process and something she really went back and forth on, in contrast to what people might think about this being an inevitable campaign. But I'm in need of some more details to back that up. Without that, I fear this is just going to look like a campaign spin job and no one is going to actually believe it." Yeah, because it was an inevitable campaign. She ran in 2008. Everyone thought she was going to win and was inevitable, and we all knew she was going to run. You're honestly telling me that you believe we would buy into this bullshit that she had to think about whether or not she would run? I mean, why'd she drop out after Obama's second term and then do a book tour? I mean, that's what you do if you're going to run for president. So this is just... it's bad. It's so bad. Now, another email shows how they tried to attack Bernie Sanders on Wall Street, but they couldn't. And it shed light on their true feelings about Bernie Sanders' plan. They said, "We don't need to prove he's bad on Wall Street. That's not really credible. We need to prove we're okay. Most of all, we don't want this fight." And the reply was that, why is it not credible that he has really dumb plans for Wall Street? Interesting. So Clinton's campaign people thinks that Bernie Sanders' plans to break up the big banks, reinstate Glass-Steagall, and actually jail crooks that break the law is dumb. Interesting. Now, they also admit that Hillary Clinton is very similar to Jeb Bush when discussing his speech transcripts. It's a scary new wrapping paper for trickle down, very much in sync with what we're hearing in groups. And the reply was that very little in this speech that Hillary Rodham Clinton wouldn't say. So they're talking about how Jeb Bush is repackaging this turd of trickle-down economics and is trying to resell it to the American people after it's been debunked time and again. And they're saying, well, Hillary Clinton, she agrees with a lot of that. There's not much that she wouldn't say here too. Now, I've called Hillary Clinton out during debates when she implied her support for trickle-down economics. She also said at a campaign rally that she would, quote, give incentives to companies that treat their workers correctly. Guess what that's called? That's called tax breaks, i.e. trickle-down economics. Doesn't work, and of course Hillary Clinton supports it. They were also getting pissed at MoveOn after they endorsed Bernie Sanders and wanted to rein them in somehow. So one email said, "This is more than a little annoying. Making noise is one thing, spending 7 figures is another. She voted for the war. You punished her already, get over it. I don't know who funds them, but don't we have Hollywood friends with ties to MoveOn who can tell them to cool it? Don't we have someone who can control this private organization who decided to endorse Bernie Sanders overwhelmingly? I believe it was, like 80% of their members voted to endorse Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton. And I like how they're just so cavalier in discussing her vote for the Iraq war. Look, you punished her for it. Get over it. No, I'm not going to get over it because the families of victims that were killed during the Iraqi civil war that we helped catalyze, their families are still mourning that loss. So I'm not going to get over it. This is unforgivable. I'm never going to support a candidate who votes for the Iraq war unless they really show to me that they made a mistake. But Hillary Clinton proves that she didn't learn from her mistakes. She's still interventionist. She wants to create a Syrian no-fly zone that requires boots on the ground. What she wants to do is respond to cyber attacks from Russia and China militarily. She hasn't learned her lesson, so no, I'm not going to get over it. Sorry. Now, also, oddly enough, after sharing a story about the coin flips after Iowa, because we all know Hillary Clinton won every single coin flip, which is statistically very improbable, well, her campaign manager, Robbie Mook, expressed excitement at the fact that Nevada also has coin tosses. He said, haha, yes, the exciting news. They have coin flips in Nevada too. And that warranted not one, but 2 exclamation points. So let me ask you this. Why are you excited about the coin flips? Because we all heard that Hillary Clinton won every single coin flip, even though there's videos showing that Bernie Sanders won some coin flips that people at the caucus actually recorded. So are you saying that you can rig that somehow? I mean, what's going on here? What's the implication? Because we don't have the full context, but this is very fishy. Because we know it was really suspicious that Hillary Clinton was able to win every single coin flip. Again, it's not statistically impossible. It's just very improbable, but she pulled it off somehow. So did she win legitimately? What's the implication here? I don't know, but it's very suspicious. Now, they also tried to write platitudes for her to say after she won, showing just how fake and scripted she really is. One of them that they suggested was, to all my supporters out there, they doubted us, but we never doubted each other. This one's for you. And apparently they liked that one and replied with, well, that's good too. Now, they also question, what is wrong with the people of New Hampshire, since they voted overwhelmingly in favor of Bernie Sanders? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with them. Nothing. They were actually rational and supported a candidate that was looking out for their best interests. They also called CNN's Jake Tapper a dick. And in one email that's very, very troubling, we found out that Saudi Arabia and Qatar are funding ISIS. So the email reads, while this military/paramilitary operation is moving forward, we need to use our diplomatic and more traditional intelligence assets to bring pressure on the governments of Qatar and Saudi Arabia, which are providing clandestine financial and logistic support to ISIL and other radical Sunni groups in the region. Now, what's crazy is that another email shows that Qatar gave Bill Clinton $1 million for a 5-minute meeting. If they're funding terrorist organizations, extremist Sunni groups in the region, why wouldn't you just cut all ties with them? Why are we still funding Saudi Arabia? Because our money is literally going to ISIS. Then if we give money to Saudi Arabia and they give money to ISIS, then our tax dollars are funding ISIS. And then we're spending more tax dollars to go and fight ISIS. It's just ridiculous. It's unbelievable. And look, let's not just focus on ISIS here. We know that Saudi Arabia is killing many civilians in Yemen right now. So much came out of this, and so little of it is being discussed in the mainstream media that it's honestly just, it's troubling. It's very troubling to me. It's disgusting, honestly, because they're going to try to mock this and say, oh, there's nothing in here. Bernie Sanders supporters and Republicans, they're 2 peas in a pod. They're just trying to go after Hillary Clinton for political purposes. Look, I don't like Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. I'm voting for Jill Stein. So to say that we're doing this for political reasons is really just, it's grotesque, right? Because they're supporting Hillary Clinton and they're not covering this for political reasons, but yet they're blaming us for attacking Hillary Clinton with these WikiLeaks releases for political reasons. No, it's called being objective. It's called holding people's feet to the fire.